Well, I wish Mr. Anurag was here, because my first and foremost request was that we must, as women, approach a police station as though it was our home and not be afraid to go inside a police station. This is what happens. Because as soon as you go to a police station, there are at least 5 or 6 stops before you really can do the registration and of any kind of a claim. And if it's anything to do with sexual, then it's definitely a very, very sad situation for a woman. And I wanted to ask Mr. Sharma, because I've said this on the floor of the House, that every police station should have a woman counselor. I think this forum needs to look at taking this issue to the police commissioner. When you go to say thank you to him, yeah, put it down on your list and tell him that we need to have a counselor, at least one counselor for 3 police stations. And we have so many young girls and boys who have completed their counseling in the various social welfare colleges. So that's very important. When you talked about judiciary, you know, it would take 10,000 years to complete the cases that are now on hand. It's come from a Supreme Court advocate to me recently. So what will happen to the cases that come in? So I believe we have to take recourse to our women's chairperson. She's a quasi-judicial person, and she can take the cases up and see that definitely some action will be taken. You're here today to make a change. I'm so glad Jacinta said that to be the change and to prevent these atrocities on women. Apart from portal, I think it's important, as you also mentioned, to do training of women from the weaker sections. I want to ask you, where will you start all this? I believe you need to start whatever work you're going to do in making a change, start at home. Who is your best friend at home? Your husband, yes, sometimes. But I believe for me, my best friend is my maid, because I see her face when I get up in the morning. I tell her my problems that I have maybe during the day past or the evening or whatever it is. And while we're about doing all those things, I wondered once, that it's time for us to look at the very end of our hand. Yeah, it is in our own home. Look at domestic workers. The domestic workers, there's a huge union now formed, and I believe that if we could take up vocational training for these women in different fields, I'm sure they would not only empower themselves to be better human beings, because that's where a lot of things happen at that grassroots level. Yes, a lot of different things happen everywhere else, but we believe that you start at home, and that's a great thing.